Hi guys, in today's restorative living tip of the day, I want to talk to you about grief and loss. 13 years ago when I came to United States, I didn't think as much about death and loss. And now when I travel to Serbia where all of my family lives, a lot of times when I'm coming back, I feel sadness. And sort of thinking about the time when I'm not going to be able to visit my parents, about the time when I'm going to get news that they're not doing well or something happened to them. And this time when I was visiting my family and friends in Serbia, I heard three different stories from three different people in 1 week that I will call grief stories that kind of gave me some wisdom and lessons about life and death, and I wanted to share those with you. So first story comes from a taxi driver who was picking me up at the airport and driving to my hometown. He was a replacement, last minute replacement, because the person that usually gives me a ride was not available. He's retirement age, and he was fortunate that he had his mother alive in her 90s. He lost her a year ago. So while we were driving, we were talking about different things, and then he shared that he lost his mother and how different life has been since. Especially when he would visit his hometown, it felt empty. And he remembered little packages that his mom would always prepare for him when he would leave. It doesn't matter what age he was, she would prepare little gifts. They were not really high value, like dry fruit, dry herbs, things she knew that he likes and can use. And he said when he goes there now, there is no little packages that she used to prepare for him. And I was thinking after that conversation how no matter what age we are, loss of a parent is life-changing, and it doesn't leave us the same. We have to sort of reinvent ourselves and adjust to new normal. And we miss parents even if we had them for 93 years or 97 years. We'll never be ready to be separated from loved ones. The second story came from a bus ride. I was on a ride from a nearby city to my hometown, and I came across a person that knows very well my family and my mom, and was helping around my brother's wedding, making some cakes. And we were talking about life and family, and in Serbia I think people are a little bit more open and talk easier about some more personal things. And she was sharing that she feels sad every time she drives and rides back from her mother's home, and her mother lives only 30 minutes away from her home. And the woman is a little bit older than me, and her mom is a little bit older than my mom. And every time she goes there to help her around a house, she thinks how many times she will be coming there because life is so short. And I was thinking about that, this sort of pre-grief that people don't talk about much, but I have experienced it myself. We come to a point in our life when we think more about loss and death, and we become more aware how limited our life is. And that might be a good thing, because we might think about things we want to say to loved ones, and things we want to do with them. The third story came from a woman that at her early age, 34, became a widow. It was just 4 months ago that I was visiting my country, and I was with her and her husband, and it was just sort of unbelievable that next time I came back to visit, he was gone, accident at work. And she was sharing how there are days when she feels good, as sort of like she forgot about it, or everything is back to normal like before it happened. But then it hits her with the same intensity and deep sadness weeks after or months after. And I think that's how it is with grief. We may become distracted with work or children, and for a moment forget what happened, but the deep sadness and intensity of feelings may come back months after, and that is normal. So as I reflected on these three stories in preparing to share them with you, I was thinking how inevitable deep pain is, as well as grief and loss, and how by staying connected with others through sharing our stories and sometimes just crying with others, we are able to process some of that deep sadness and sort of adjust to new normal. Until the next restorative living video, thank you guys for watching, and you're welcome to leave comments or share your grief stories.